Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So hello everyone and welcome to our live gathering, our live group meditation practice. If you have the intention to practice meditation and listen to some deep Zen, deep Buddhist teachings, then you are in the right place. Britt saying they looking forward to Sonia's cat every session. I can understand. Very special kind of cat over there, right? Yeah. And I see Anastasia and Britt here just joining, and Stephanie and Natty and Mirage is here. That's great. And for anyone who's joining on YouTube, you can also kind of say hello. Hi there, Waj. You can say hello and check in. Let us know that you're here. Yeah. All right, Robert and Fran, Catherine, Dave, and Alex over on YouTube. That's great. And John as well. Hello, John. So we are getting ready to start momentarily. We're getting settled in, getting comfortable. Yep. Okay, nice to see you, Eric and Maddie. Mm-hmm. And Alex and Steve. Everybody's here. What a treat. Hello, Blanca. Welcome. Glad that you're here. So we are gathering together today to know about the truth, to see through the clouds, and to see the clear, bright sky, the awareness of our mind, rather than the content of our mind, the ideas, the stories, the beliefs, the like and dislike, the judgment, the preferences. We're here to wake up, to refresh, to restart from our dreams, from our life of dreaming. And we can call this a kind of meditation practice. So some people here have practiced meditation with this group. Wow. Some people have practiced meditation here before, and for some people, maybe you haven't. Maybe you don't know about meditation. Maybe you're not interested in meditation. But the situation here is not really to be interested in meditation, but in fact to be interested, to become curious about the state of things, to become curious about reality at this present moment. What's happening right now? Who am I? Who are you? What is this? But we don't take the easy answer, we don't take the easy out when we ask this kind of question. And really, any answer is not sufficient, because this, you, me, we are constantly shifting and changing. Thoughts and feelings and sensations arising and passing away all the time. It's not stagnant. It's not the same way at any point in time. So what is really important and really essential here, rather than some answer or some belief or some idea, what's really essential here is the looking itself, the curiosity itself, the putting down of assumptions themselves about I'm like this, the world is like that, the past is like this, the future is going to be like that. So we can almost enter into a childlike state of wonder, curiosity. What's happening? I don't know. So, to practice meditation deeply, I will say that this quality of mind of not knowing is very essential. When we know something, we dismiss it. We don't care about it. We've already understood it. We've already grasped it. So it's not so important to us anymore. We don't need to be curious about it. We don't need to be interested in it because we know, oh, it's just like that. But from this place of wonder, from this place of almost awe, not knowing, it's there that I find the most sincere and meaningful kind of meditation practice can take place. A real sort of exploring, a real sort of sincere looking into this present moment, this reality as it is right now. So this is what we're going to emphasize today. Now, does anyone have any question or idea about what I've shared so far? Does anyone have any important topic or question to bring up before we get into the vegan meat of our meal today, of our practice today?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Eric.
Um, well, today I was really interested in impermanence, and I wrote a couple pages about it. And and I like what you said about looking at it through like childlike wonder, like awe. I'm kind of like I feel like I'm excited about learning about impermanence, and it feels like it doesn't. It just keeps getting better when I look at it that way. So I like what you said there.
Thank you, Eric. Does anyone else want to share? Have a question or something to bring up before we dive in here? Go ahead, Sonia. You should be, yeah.
I I thought it was very. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forgot my English because we didn't do a session this morning. I thought it was a little bit more difficult today because all day before I did meditation in the morning, and so I'm very happy to do meditation tonight. I thought it was something that I needed very much. Now I can feel that when I don't meditate, I can feel the difference.
So make sure that you don't get, yes, thank you for your sharing. make sure that you don't get stuck or attached to this way of doing things, but that at that time, our normal time slot, we have an event in the morning, we have an event in the evening. If you want to practice and you couldn't do it alone, then you listen to a talk, something like that. You look on the Discord, we have some resources, just to spend a few minutes reading a text or a few minutes watching a Dharma teaching. Okay, a good resource, a good from Ajahn Brahm or Thich Nhat, something like this. Even to listen to the Plum Village songs, those kinds of musics, then you want to take up that responsibility to practice and not cheat yourself out of it. And it might only be just a few moments to sit and like, oh, I remember that meditation, but it's not happening today in the normal way. And you just to collect and to gather and to bring the mind home, to take those moments to stop as much as you can. And you can even, at those times, you can even to let people know here in the Discord that you want to practice, and you can invite people to join you. All right, we can try to practice and co-organize at this time, if I'm not available. Right. So how can we bring this quality of mind that we experience in meditation to all facets of our life, all the dimensions, all the experiences, all of the night, the day, the good day, the bad day? How can we come back to this present moment lived experience as it's happening right now? How can we wake up so that we are not relying on someone or something or some place or some time? Not to trap ourselves, not to get ourselves stuck. Someone had been asking about, thank you, Sonia. I'm sure a lot of people share that kind of situation. So someone had been asking about in the Discord, in our community space, about this idea of facing, this instruction for meditation about facing. What are you facing? What does facing mean? It's just meaning to be being with. Okay, hi Tony, good to see you. It's just a matter of being with, attending to, showing up to this present moment, this lived experience in the here and now. So when that idea of facing comes to mind, we turn towards something. We're willing to look at it. We're willing to be with it. We're willing to endure it. We're not trying to turn away. We're not trying to avoid it in some way. We're not trying to get away from it. We're not turning our back on anything. So that meditation is this real, a lively practice of facing reality, facing our life, facing the truth here in this present moment, wholeheartedly and completely. Not to be shy about anything and not to do meditation as this way of kind of zoning out or relaxing out, but really it's that this is reality, this is life. What is it? How closely, how sincerely are you willing and able to look at that, to be with that? So that's kind of what this facing meant. I don't plan on writing a book with the title of facing, but that's the idea of that word and that intention. To be with, to face, to accept, to look closely. Anyone else? Something to share here? Something to bring out or bring about? Great. So what we are going to do today, our usual schedule has been that we are in the morning time, the 10 a.m. New York City time, we're looking at some Zen teachings, and that in our 8 p.m. New York City time kind of period, we are focusing a little bit more on meditation. So in this case today, we were not available. We were not able to meet, or we didn't seem like we met this morning. So we're going to listen to some prompts, some kind of Zen stories to invite us into this mind of curiosity, this mind of interest, and to get the benefit from these stories and these ways of teachings. On one hand, we have to have we're actually interested in something that is deeper, more profound, more real, more vibrant, more luminous than our usual way of being a stuffed up brigand. What is a brigand exactly? Let me Google it. A brigand. A member of a gang that ambushes and robs people in forests and mountains, okay? So rather than us being these kind of hungry dogs chasing our desire and trying to avoid our fear, that there's a deeper truth in plain sight. That it's not just that the appearance of the storm itself carries with it the bright, clear blue sky. So we hold that in mind, that there can be something that's a little bit more true, a little bit more deeper here in this present moment. Maybe to say original mind, something like that. Our original nature, our Buddha nature. And on the other hand, a degree of trust and faith, a curiosity, a willing to be curious that these stories are speaking from that realization, from that deeper place, that deeper understanding. Now, maybe that's not the case, but we can be curious and look into these stories and these little snippets of the lives of Zen masters to kind of open up this dimension of curiosity and wonder and interest and sincerity in our present moment practice. Okay, our way of being here. So this is a collection of very short Zen stories, and going to read through some of these, and maybe we'll be inspired, maybe we won't, but we'll see what comes up. Zen Master Bai Yun Dan said to an assembly, "It is very clearly known that the way is just this. Why can't people pass through? It is just because when they see someone open their mouth, they immediately call it verbal expression. And when they see someone keep their mouth shut, they immediately call it silence." So maybe to be stuck on appearances, so they couldn't pass through just this. He also said, all activity and talk in all worlds is without exception oneself. The good, the bad, the right, the wrong, the holy, the ordinary, the evil, truth and false. All activity and talk in all worlds is without exception oneself. So it is said that falling along the way subtly embosoms past aversion and embosoms to bring to the bosom, to embrace. So it is said that falling along the way subtly embraces past aversion Aversion is the opposite of craving, or like the negative form of craving. We push certain things away. Have you not seen how great Zen Master Yunmen said, "Hearing sound, awaken to the way. Seeing form, understand the mind. Hearing sound, awaken to the way. Awaken to the primordial ground of all reality. Hearing sound, awaken to the way. Seeing form, understand the mind." Seeing form, understand the mind. Then raised his hand and said, "Guanyin Bodhisattva brings a coin to buy a cake." Then lowered his hand and said, "After all, it's a bun." And haven't you seen how, when I was at Fahua, I once pointed out to the assembly, Zen Master Wu Ye said that if the slightest subjective thought of ordinary and holy is not yet terminated, one cannot avoid entering into a donkey's womb or a horse's belly. Everyone, even if the slightest subjective thought of ordinary and holy is terminated at once, you still won't escape entering into a donkey's womb or a horse's belly. Blind blokes, blind fools. Just look at it this way. Inquire. So I add a little bit of my understanding here. So all activity and all talk in all worlds is without exception oneself. There is nothing outside of this moment, and there is nothing outside of yourself. Don't set yourself up as separate from anything, anyone. Don't put anything outside of yourself. That is your true self, this present moment, this original mind, this non-discrimination. So it is said that falling along the way subtly embraces past aversion. So on this path, even when we are falling along, tripping along, we are embracing our past rejection, just to be aware, just to face this moment. We are embracing and bringing to our bosom all of these past qualities of mind, of rejection, aversion. Have you not seen how great Master Yunmen said, "Hearing sound awaken to the way. Seeing form understand the mind." So just through the faculty of hearing, awakening to the path. The path of what? No craving, no rejecting, no discrimination, no right, no wrong, no good, no bad. Hearing sound, awaken to the way. Seeing form, seeing a form, seeing an appearance, seeing a tree, understand the mind. Not the mind is this big, knotted up, contrived, concocted, reactive kind of thing or persona or reality, this mind fantasy story reality, but rather than that, seeing form, understand the mind. right now, just like that. Seeing form, seeing a tree, understand the mind. Then raised his hand and said, Guanyin Bodhisattva brings a coin to buy a cake. Then lowered his hand and said, after all, it's a bun. This is just our ordinary, normal life. That is what contains the truth. We think this is a cake. This is a special meditation experience with some kind of monk. No. Don't bring your coin here to buy a cake. After all, it's just a bun. It's just normal. It's just ordinary. Your life is just like this. Right at the beginning, Master Baiyun Duan said, it is very clearly known that the way is just this. Why can't people pass through? Why can't people see through to the end? Why can't people see the truth in this moment? It is just because when they see someone open their mouth, they immediately call it verbal expression. And when they see someone keep their mouth shut, they immediately call it silence. We are immediately stuck in our appearances. Black, white, beautiful, ugly, good, bad, right, wrong. We're immediately stuck. So, we can't see, we can't know for ourselves, we can't pass through what is clearly known that the way is just this. The path is just this. This is the path. And haven't you seen how when I was at Fahua, I once pointed out to the assembly, quote, Chan Master Wu Ye said that if the slightest subjective thought of ordinary and holy is not yet terminated, one cannot avoid entering into a donkey's womb or a horse's belly. So here it's put as ordinary and holy specifically within this context of, there's this great, like enlightened Zen master in ancient China, this monk who's giving this lecture, which is, to be holy. This is holy, this is ordinary. That's why these teachings are relevant, right? So the Zen master here said if the slightest subjective thought of ordinary and holy, but it's talking about duality, it's talking about right and wrong, beautiful and ugly, but here it's very kind of practical. This Zen master sitting in the meditation halls, giving this talk. Ordinary and holy is right at the heart of the kind of context of that situation. So if that is not yet terminated, if that is not yet brought to an end, self and other, etc., etc., one cannot avoid entering into a donkey's womb or a horse's belly. So that means that you're going to fall into the lower realms. At best, you're going to be led around by your nose. You're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to be easily confused by people and situations. You're going to fall into the lower realms. You're going to live in a way where you're just like an animal. You're going to be born to be an ass. Pun intended in that case. But an ass, that's the technical name for a donkey. You don't want to be born out of a donkey's womb, right? You want to take advantage of this human life to be a good person and a wise person, if you can. But right there, that's the duality. So you need to be careful. So if that slightest subjective thought of ordinary and holy is not yet terminated, not yet refuted, let go of, not seen to be real or fixed or true, then one cannot avoid entering into a donkey's womb or a horse's belly. Horse's belly, maybe you'll be born as a grass. Who knows what kind of situation you'll come into? Everyone, even if the slightest subjective thought of ordinary and holy is terminated at once, you still won't escape entering into a donkey's womb or a horse's belly. Blind fools, just look at it this way. Inquire. So we think we get it, right? We hear, okay, so we have to let go of this perception of duality. We have to let go of this perception of right and wrong, good and bad, etc. And then if we terminate that, if we let go of that, then we'll get it. But the Zen master goes on to say, even if the slightest subjective thought of ordinary and holy is terminated at once, you still won't escape entering into a donkey's womb or a horse's belly. So how can you escape? Blind fools, just look at it this way. Inquire. What is this? Meditation as inquiry. Inquiry, inquire into, look directly, look closely. Not meditation as this kind of, we're going to relax and zone out and get spiritual and open up our chakras or things like that, but to really inquire, to look closely, to look vividly and sharply at this. What is this? If your life and reality only exist here at this present moment, if this is it, if this is where your life exists, if this is where birth and death come about, what is this? Not through words and phrases, not through stories, not through what's told to you and explained to you, not through your assumptions, not through your expectations, but what is this? Okay? Inquire, look into. Not with the thinking mind, but with your listening faculty. Hearing sound awaken to the way. Seeing form understand the mind. So the body is this wonderful ground, this wonderful fertile soil for our inquiry, for our investigation, for our looking into. We want to know about the truth. We want to know about reality. This heart and this body is a field for inquiry, for noticing, for introspection, for curiosity to take place. There is so much here to be interested in. There's so much here to be curious about. Hearing sound awaken to the way. Hearing, hearing. Seeing form, okay, seeing a form, chair, tree, grass, seeing form, understand the mind. Guanyin Bodhisattva, the great compassion Bodhisattva, this great archetype, this great deity, heavenly being of compassion, brings a coin to buy a cake. We bring something to try and get something special. We think this is a cake. We think this is something concocted, brought together, sweetened, special. But in fact, it's not special. It's ordinary. Our normal, ordinary mind is the way. Hearing itself is the way. Seeing itself is the way. The heart itself is the way. The body itself is the way. Zen master Wu Ye said that if the slightest subjective thought of ordinary and holy is not yet terminated, one cannot avoid entering into a donkey's womb or a horse's belly. Everyone, even if the slightest subjective thought of ordinary and holy is terminated at once, you still won't escape entering into a donkey's womb or a horse's belly. Blind fools. Just look at it this way. Inquire. this very moment, what do you notice? What are you aware of? Upon hearing sound, enter the way. Upon seeing forms, understand the mind. Master Huanglong Xin said to an assembly, "There are no phenomena outside mind. Thus, things can be understood. There is no mind outside phenomena. Thus, mind can be comprehended. Comprehensible, understandable, mind and phenomena fulfill the aim. Fulfill the aim, and everything is the aim. Make mind complete, and every state of mind is mindless. Since there is no mind in mind, you go directly to the source. When you find the source, when you manifest a great body, it fills space. And when you manifest a small body, not an atom is established. How is it when not an atom is established? One drop of ink in two places completes a dragon. One drop of ink in two places completes a dragon. So we find ourselves to be in a strange and curious situation, position. From this place of strangeness, but also there's an ordinariness to it as well. We can begin to step into the practice of inquiring, looking into, not with our conceptual mind, not with our intellect, but with curiosity itself. We don't just take some kind of idea, some kind of belief, some kind of story, and slap it onto our face, and then run around. What is happening at this present moment? What do we notice? What are we aware of? And those phenomena, those conditions that we are aware of, to be curious, to look closely, not to fall into this duality of like and dislike, holy and unholy, ordinary and special, but to look at what's happening right now. Most importantly, this heart that is beating, keeping us alive. Most importantly, this breath that is giving us life moment after moment. These eyes that can see, these ears that can hear. We're focusing on these turmoils, these worries, these difficulties in our lives, right? But how much are we appreciating and enjoying and taking this invitation to inquire, to look into with what we already have, what's already here at this present moment? All of these conditions for joy, all of these conditions for truth. Not in thinking, not in right and wrong, like and dislike, not in our words and our phrases and our stories. But in this present moment breathing, wow. To be alive, to be aware, to listen to the body, to listen to the breath. Let's practice this deep listening together. So make sure that you are in your meditation position, whatever that is. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you're comfortable and that you're aware, that you're awake. And simply begin to inquire into the body, the breathing. Listen to the body. We can also recite these kind of mantras from Thich Nhat Hanh as we practice. So if you like, you can repeat after me. Breathing in, I am aware of my body. Breathing out, I smile at my body. Breathing in, I am aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I smile towards my body. Breathing in, I listen to the body. Breathing out, I listen to the body. Breathing and being aware. Breathing and being with the body at this present moment. Coming back to the breath. As we breathe in, we are giving life to this body. Enjoy breathing. Know that with each and every breath, you are giving yourself exactly what you need. And that the body as it is right now is not only a source of joy, happiness, freedom, but it is also a path to wisdom. Just sit, just breathe, just be aware. As we turn inward to face and be with the breath at this present moment, we are also actualizing, practicing our refresh, restart. Just this breath is a new beginning. Just this present moment awareness is the way, not something that we're forcing ourselves into, not something that we even have to endure, but something to enjoy. This door, this path opening up at this present moment, just sitting, just breathing, just being aware. So today we will end our session with a chanting of the Heart Sutra, which is a very important text in Zen Buddhism. And the protagonist of this Heart Sutra is the Bodhisattva Guanyin or Avalokiteshvara, who is said to have become enlightened through the faculty of hearing, through the faculty of listening. And the Bodhisattva becoming enlightened not just for themselves, but for all beings. So this archetype of Avalokiteshvara represents great compassion, seeing all the suffering and this great compassion to heal all that suffering. And where does the power from that come from? It comes from the realization of the emptiness of all phenomena, the realization of impermanence, change, and the empowerment that goes with that. So this is what the text that I'll be chanting is about, and I invite everyone to bring their hands together and listen deeply, and we'll wrap up with this chanting, and then at the very end we can do 3 sadhus together. So at the very end you'll hear me do sadhu, and then we can all chant that sadhu together as a kind of offering out and sharing out any wisdom, any blessings, any benefit that we got from this practice. We don't keep it for ourselves, but we offer out, we share out the benefits of our practice. Okay, so welcome to listen along. Mahaprajna Paramita Heart Sutra. When the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara was coursing in the deeper Prajna Paramita, she realized that all the 5 skandhas are empty, thereby transcending all sufferings. O Shariputra, form is not other than emptiness, and emptiness not other than form. Form is precisely emptiness, and emptiness precisely form. So also are sensation, perception, volition, and consciousness. Shariputra, this form of the emptiness of all dharmas is non-arising, non-perishing, non-impure, non-pure, non-increasing, and non-decreasing. Therefore in emptiness there is no form, and no sensation, perception, volition, or consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind. No sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, or thought. There is no realm of the eye, all the way up to no realm of consciousness. There is no ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance, through to no aging and death, and no ending of aging and death. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, and no path. There is no wisdom and also no attainment. With nothing to attain, bodhisattvas relying on prajna paramita have no obstructions in their minds. Having no obstructions, there is no fear. and departing far from confusion and delusion, they reach ultimate nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future, relying on prajna paramita, attain supreme Buddhahood. Therefore, the prajna paramita is the great mantra of power, the great mantra of wisdom, the supreme mantra and the unequaled mantra, which is able to transcend all sufferings. It is real and not false. Therefore, he uttered the mantra of prajna paramita by saying, Gate, gate, para, gate, para, samgate, bodhisvaha. Sadhu. 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 Okay, so thank you all so much for being here, for joining me. Tomorrow is Monday here in America, so we will have our Buddha Book Club at 8 p.m. New York City time, looking at this book on the topic of healing trauma through the power of mindfulness from Sister Dang Niam. So far, it's been a really nice book to go through together, so I invite you to join for that. In the morning at 10 a.m., we'll have a group session, and then there will also be a meditation for the people who follow me in Vietnam at 6 p.m. New York City time. So this will be for the rest of the week. We'll be having sessions at 6 p.m. New York City time that I'll share on the YouTube channel, but that will be mainly with the Vietnamese translation. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Be happy, be peaceful. See you again soon. And everyone here on YouTube, you are very welcome to leave a like. You can like the video and helps other people to come across it. And it's very much appreciated if you can do that. Okay? Bye-bye.
Robert.